What's up, bro?
So, you want to talk about what this is? I'll let you talk about it since you like talking about it.
Since I like talking about it.
Sure.
Yeah, bro. I mean, dude, you want us? We want to start a podcast, bro. We want to start just talking about shit, bro. Random shit. What ranges from freaking normal things to, you know,
Deep talks and shit.
deep talks like theories, maybe some conspiracy theories, bro. Getting some shit like that. It can go from as simple as maybe sports, maybe some type of a video game, a movie, or something like that, to freaking calculus, bro. Freaking crazy shit like that. You know what I'm
we
saying?
studied we studied calculus for a podcast and nobody's gonna fucking watch.
Yeah, I mean that's just what this is, man. The Cosmic Podcast about your little Cosmos.
Yeah,
I'm Lil G.
my name's Lil
You know what I'm
Cosmic.
saying?
Yes, sir. So my real name is Dean Vaca, and Lil Gene is Dillon Mueller. We've
Yes, sir.
decided we've decided on doing this because we fucking felt like it, because we talk about a lot of weird, crazy shit all the time, and we just thought maybe we should record it. And probably, if anybody would even decide to watch this, I'm literally just live streaming an image of your house in my survival world in Minecraft.
It's a beautiful ass house, ain't it?
It is a beautiful house, and we're just going through the motions. How's your day, bro? What did you do?
But it was fine. You know, I mean, I just chilled. I worked out. You know, I'm getting.
Oh,
I'm trying to work. I'm losing weight. I'm a little overweight, a little bit.
how much you weigh?
Dude, I weighed 220 last week. 220. Can
Really?
you believe that?
I'm
Yeah.
lighter than you?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And so I was like, dude, I remember like senior year, first semester, I was 198. I was like, dude, I'm not getting the 200. I'm not gonna let myself get the 200. So I worked out for like 6 months straight. I never got the 200. I weighed
You
myself
ran in the
last
mornings,
week.
right?
Yeah. I weighed myself last week and I was 220. I was like, this is BS, bro. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I need to get down to 180. I need to get down to where I need to be. 180, maybe even 185, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I set myself a little goal to lose 3 pounds a week for 15 weeks starting last week, so that by the time the Monday right before Christmas, I should lose 40 to 45 pounds. And I lost
Right.
4 pounds last week, so I mean, that's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where it goes from there, you know. I woke up, I did my thing. I actually ran a lot today. I did like 3 times as much as I did last week. Today.
Nice,
I'm
bro.
not messing around this time. Yeah.
Bro, you should do the marathon with me.
When are you doing that? Next
So
year?
yeah. So the marathon, I believe, is around February 10th, and I think it's definitely in Austin. I just don't know the route yet.
Where is it at? Like general location, you don't know?
I think it's in the city, and then I think we're running up to Bee Caves, and then somewhat coming back. I'm not sure though. Well, I have to like take a look at that soon. But
I remember I did a marathon like when I was in 7th grade or something like that with my aunt and my grandma.
you did
I
a
did pretty good.
marathon?
I did the marathon, yes. That's 26.2 miles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a marathon. I mean, I didn't run the whole thing because I was like 12 years old or something like that.
Right.
That was with my grandma,
And you
and
like
my
ran a
aunt.
little
So
bit?
we ran. It was on and off. It was a very relaxed thing, fun thing. I think it was like for like charity or something like that. But I did it, and it was fun. I remember doing it.
Nice. Yeah. So the marathon is on the 16th of February next year. And see if I can find the route right now.
That's actually exactly. It's exactly 5 months away tomorrow
Yeah.
or yesterday.
I think we start
That's
at.
good.
Let me see.
So are you trying to get down to a certain weight, or are you just trying to get in shape for it?
Both. I'm honestly just trying to lose weight so that I don't like. So when I'm running, because it's like just so long, that every time you're running and like the farther you go, you're like all your weight just slams on the pavement and the road, and
Yeah.
that can
Oh
fuck up
yeah.
your toenails and give you blisters and just like ruin everything. And when I was first started running, I had a lot of blisters all over my feet for like the first 3 weeks, dude. It was terrible. And that's when I was a busser at Cheddar, so I'm always constantly walking around. I'm lifting stuff up, and like my feet just like never had the right rest, and so they were always just like beat up and blistered and cut and all the time. And then when I quit the job, I stopped running for about a week and a half, just to like recover. And
Hmm.
when I came back to running, everything was just a lot better for me. It was a lot easier. And in that week and a half that I wasn't running, I was definitely lifting weights. I was eating right. I was drinking a lot of water. And that week was like my big like weight loss week, cause um that was about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I found the picture of myself in the beginning of summer, and I decided to take a picture that day, and I noticed like so much like body fat was just gone, and like I can, just I just looked a lot better and healthier and stuff, and I recorded all my weight throughout the summer, and I definitely started off at like 232 when I graduated. So yeah, I was
Hmm.
232 pounds when I graduated. Um, the end of June, I was. I think I have my paper somewhere. Hold on. Um, yeah, at the end of
Yeah,
June, I
that's what
was.
I'm doing right now too. I have it in notes. I'm like, okay, so if I lose 3 pounds a week, this is how much I should weigh every single month and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like
I weigh
the math
260.
and stuff.
Yeah, and
For
like
sure.
October 9th, I'm supposed to weigh 208. A month from that, 196. A month from that, 184. And by the 23rd, I should weigh 178, which I would be perfectly fine with. I mean, that's
Damn.
exactly where I need to be.
Yeah. And then let me see. At the end of June, I was 223. End of July, I was 215, and now I'm just whopping a 210. I was 207 for a little, but then I kind of um I just kind of like stopped caring about what I ate for a little bit, and I kind of gained that weight back, but I'll definitely lose it. I'm definitely the goal by the end of the month is to get down to 200, but hopefully by the time the marathon comes in about 5 months, I'm hoping that I'm like 190, 185.
You could definitely get to like 170, bro. In 5 months, you could get
Yeah,
down pretty low. I don't know if you want to be that low.
I don't know if I want to be
I
that
mean,
low
how
either.
tall are you? You're like what, 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'11".
I mean, yeah, yeah, okay, you're my height. You should probably shoot for 175. That's what the average or like a good weight for a 5'11", 19, 20-year-old
Mm,
should be is 175. I would definitely shoot for that. But I
yeah,
mean, anything below 190 is great.
yeah, bro.
Are you on a diet? Like, what are you doing for your diet?
Um, I'm not really like careful with what I eat because I just like burn so
Yeah,
much in my workouts that
especially
I'm not even
early
like tripping
on.
about it.
Yeah,
I still do watch my sugar because I've been diagnosed pre-diabetic twice in my life already. One time
that
it was in
sucks.
middle school, and the other time was actually the beginning of senior year, which was crazy to me. Like I was like so upset about that, and I let myself get to that point, and it probably was based on that old relationship I had. But I'm not gonna get into that because
Yeah.
we don't talk about that. But no, yeah. So I was diagnosed twice, and I don't know, just like after this year, I realized how insignificant high school it really is in your life, which is crazy because like it's just such a long 4 years, and when you really think about it, you just think of like memories that make you cringe and like all this other stuff, and like you're just like, damn, why the fuck was I like that? And I definitely caught on to that pretty early, throughout the summer, and I like really just decided to focus on myself and focus on my mental health and my physical health at that. And yeah, I was like, one day I was like, dude, I need to do, because I don't, I don't want to be fucking boring, I would hate to like just be like the type of character I am, and like people enjoy me being funny and like all this other stuff, and it's weird to be like that, because people always see me as the funny, like, happy guy and all this other stuff, but really I was going through a lot, and I really wasn't happy with like myself and like how I looked and all this other stuff. And it was, I don't know, I just didn't, I promised myself when I graduated that I always want to try to do something exciting every year of my life. Even if it's like one thing, I want it to be like one big bombastic thing. And I think the thing that I wanted to do when I'm 18 is this marathon. And I was just like, fuck it, dude. I was like, it's good for my health. It's something that nobody would probably even like have a second thought that I would do in my life, just because I've been just this overweight guy for forever.
I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah.
I never even thought like, oh, I want to set a goal and do something significant every year. Like since I've graduated high school, I've never thought about that. And going back to like the high school's insignificant thing, yeah, it can be, but dude, like, it could
You
also
learn a lot.
be majorly significant. Like your life could change in high school, 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's so many possibilities that happen, but on a social standard, yes, it's very insignificant. Whatever you do, you go to a lot of parties, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter at all what you do socially, but the choices you make can definitely hurt your life.
Yeah.
A lot. You can be as great as potentially getting a scholarship to play a sport or academically and stuff like that, or getting into drugs and like getting addicted and stuff like that.
Yeah, like a big percentage of the school, or like people in my grade, turn into like drug dealers and potheads and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. Like people that I knew in freshman year, thinking about them back then and thinking of them now, what I used to see on their stories was just like goofy shit and like the classic teenager stuff, like 1111, don't hit me up, and just stuff like that. And now I look at their stories and it's just like 10 a G, hit me up, or dab cards for 35, got deals and blah blah blah. I'm just like, like, good for y'all, but like, do something different, man. Don't be fucking boring. I know drugs aren't boring. I'm pro weed. Hopefully my parents don't ever watch this, but I like to smoke because it's a nice background drug. I use it to unwind. I don't abuse it. Just things like that. And my biggest struggle is that I just don't want to be boring. Like, I always have to come back to that. I just don't want to be like 23 living with my parents still.
A normal life, technically.
Yeah. Even if I don't have a lot of money or like become really successful.
That's wins the lottery.
Yeah. And I don't want to be bored with my life, and I don't want to regret a year where I didn't do anything fun, And now
that's kind of where I'm at right now. I regret last year, 100%. My whole entire last year, terrible, god-awful decision. And I knew it while I was living it. I was like, dude, what am I doing right now?
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Dillon took a gap year after he graduated. So Dillon was a year ahead of me when he was a senior and I was a junior. Then he graduated and he decided to take a gap year.
Yeah.
Why did you? What came to that decision?
I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Oh.
I didn't look at colleges. I didn't do that good in school. I did okay. I did enough to pass, obviously. I didn't do good enough to get into college right after high school, or a university at least.
Mhm.
And I was like, do I even want to play baseball? Because I played baseball. I was like, do I even want to try and play baseball? Or do I just want to focus on going to school? And I didn't have that decision made at all. It took me almost a whole year after I graduated to make that decision. And that was way too late. It was way too late for me to make that decision. And I just regret it in a whole. I should have started a little junior college,
Yeah.
ACC, last year, but I didn't. And I have to live with it, but it's okay, you know? I
Do you
mean,
think you
in the
learned
end, I'm still
anything
going to go
from
to
that year?
college.
From last year? Did you get anything out of, like, did you find anything optimistic, anything positive about the gap year you took? Even though I know you regret it and all, but like, you just, you always have to stay optimistic, and I'm sure you found something that was positive in that gap year.
Honestly, honestly, the only thing that I've found that was positive through that gap year happened this past summer, and that was I think I found what I really want to do, and that's to do something with space. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I decided that I'm going to major in physics and stuff like that. That was probably the most positive thing, that I actually have I guess you could say, a timeline and actually a direction where I want to head when I go in college, and not just go in, balls deep and not know what I want to do. I
Right.
actually have a direction I want to go. That's probably the most positive thing. Other than that, no, there was nothing positive about it. All negatives. It was terrible.
Moral of the story is don't take a gap year.
Don't take a gap year. Never take a gap year. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, do it unless. No, don't do it. Never mind. Just don't do it. No, don't listen to me. Don't do it.
Even if you don't have no idea what the fuck you want to do in your life, don't do it. It's not
Yeah.
good for anybody. I know it wasn't good for
It didn't.
you, but I'm glad you're okay with it, and I'm glad that it's over for you. And now it's
100%.
time to, get on that track of going to school and
Yeah.
following what you want to do, you know?
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked. Hopefully no, I'm gonna do good. Like, we're both gonna do good. Like, we have no other choice.
Yeah.
We have to go somewhere after this. It's only a 2-year college. We have to go somewhere else. We have to transfer into a university, wherever it is. It could be like Concordia,
Mhm.
something as small as that. I'm ready for it to be over, college, but I can't wait for it to actually get the ball rolling and actually get deep into it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, man.
Um,
It's crazy to think. I don't know, man. It's just how far developed, you know? Because we met like what, 2 years ago?
Now, bro, we met your freshman year.
Oh, that's right. You were in my
Yeah.
biology class, and then I moved.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't officially meet until like PS4, right?
We didn't become really good friends until PS4. I don't really remember. It was maybe um,
It was
late
definitely,
2016, maybe.
yeah, we were definitely playing like GTA 5.
Yeah, late 2016 is when we
Mhm.
actually became pretty good friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it. Like, we knew each other, what, 5 years ago? That was 5 years ago,
Damn.
4 years ago. And then we didn't talk to each other for a full year, and then it ends up that, hey, we're gonna be friends anyways, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy how that kind of works out.
It's just a small world.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. And even when I first met you, I didn't know you were friends with Jared and stuff like that.
I didn't know you
I
were
had no
related to
idea.
Jared. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not related to Jared. We're step
But like,
cousins,
yeah.
but we're family still. I've known him for 5, 6 years now. Um, it's crazy how small the world was in that scenario.
Mhm.
Speaking of small worlds, Earth,
Oh,
Earth, bro.
we're getting into it now.
We're gonna get into it, bro. I was watching this show
Mhm.
on the Sci-Fi Channel, I believe it's called. It's either called the Science Channel or it was either no, it was the Science Channel, 100%
Mhm.
Science Channel. It's called The Planets and Beyond.
Okay.
And they were talking about Saturn's moons and stuff like that, dude. And they explained how the rings were made and stuff like that. There's a moon. There's a moon. One of Saturn's moons has water on it,
What? Do
and
you know what kind of water? Like.
water, H2O, bro, straight up water.
Oh.
Um,
Because
yeah.
you would think like water would like be frozen or.
It's like it's frozen solid over, but underneath is water, and there's a potential that there are aliens down there.
Wait, wait,
By
wait, wait, wait,
aliens,
wait.
we mean just other species.
What planet moon?
Saturn. One of
Saturn.
Saturn's. I don't remember what
What's-
the moon is called.
I think
I
I know which
don't.
one you're talking about. Hold on. Saturn.
Yeah.
Moons.
It's a nice moon.
Did it start with a P?
Bro, honestly, I don't remember.
Because I watched this. Okay. I watched this creepypasta video, and it was called the Cosmic Gargantua, and it was
What the
about
heck?
it was about it was like some weird story about this former astronaut or someone. This guy worked at NASA, and he said that 6 years, or like they made a plan to go to one of Saturn's moons, and deploy highly like highly advanced drones into the surface. And I forgot which moon it was, but like it was this really cool story about so like the story was about the drones and like how they were developing it, but they kept it a secret because if the press and the public found out about it, and if something was to be down there, it would cause like worldwide catastrophic behavior, you know?
Yeah, dude, I hate the fact that NASA, and I guess you could say even the government, feels the need to keep all the space things secret, and what they
Yeah.
found and what they are doing secret. I hate that, man.
Yeah.
I don't see any benefit of it. I don't personally yet. Maybe I'll be proven wrong in the next 5 years, so and realize, oh, that's why they do it. But right now, I'm like, why keep these secrets? And maybe people are just overthinking it, and like, hey, there's not even any secrets that they keep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe everything that they've said and told us is what they know, which I think is highly impossible. There's no way they told us everything. There's just no way. They know a little bit more than they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, back to the moon.
Oh yeah. So I found the story. It says about 6 years ago, we sent 4 probes into space on course for Jupiter's moon Europa. For those who don't know, Europa's surface is covered in a thick ice layer, and has been believed for many years that underneath the ice is an ocean. So what they did was, for 6 years, they created the drones, or the probes, and they sent them up to Jupiter's moon. Then what they did was they sent 4 of those probes into 4 like very far regions of the planet, and they would drill down into the ice. And so they were all pretty far from each other. Like,
Wait, this actually happened?
I don't know.
They did this?
This is just like some story on Reddit. And so what they did was they drilled into the ice, and they made like pretty big holes because they were like huge probes and stuff. And it said in the story that it was so dark in there that they turned on the night vision and like the lights, and then they found like life, and it was like it was let me see. An alien life form. The room back on Earth where this was being observed was silent in shock before everyone yelled a victorious cheer at the discovery that alien life did indeed exist on Europa. The creature itself was about 6 feet long and resembled a giant silver tadpole. It had a single white glowing eye on the front of its head, with several thin tendrils around what we assumed to be its mouth. Just behind its head were 4 tentacles on each side, each slightly shorter than its tail. It was stationary, just staring at Probe 1, its tentacles gingerly flowing with the water's movement. Before we knew it, more creatures had approached Probes 2, 3, and 4, all staring at them with little movement. So they were staring at the drones, and so what they were saying in the story is they sent code to those probes to, drill the holes, swim around, look around, and take samples from like the surface of the ocean. And one of the drones were so essentially the most of the ocean floor was like this type of like kale leaf, like in the water, just moving together, but like
seaweed,
yeah,
seagrass?
Like that, things like that, just like flowing through the water. And they noticed that all of the creatures looked the same, and all the plants, or like all the seaweed, looked the same too. Like there was no predator or prey or like diverse ecosystem. And so one of the probes was trying to pull out the seaweed, but like it couldn't do it. It was just really hard to, and the probe kept pulling it because it was coded to do that, like to pull it until it came out. And they were saying in the story about one of the aliens was like warning the probe to not do that anymore, and then the probe kept pulling, and so the alien wrapped around it and started to tug at the probe to not bother the kale, and then and then more of them came to pull the probe off. And then in the story it says that probe 1's camera went blank, and then so like the probe pulled the seaweed out, and they heard this loud like whale type sound, but it wasn't heard in just like one of the other probes. It was heard in all 3, which is crazy because they were all so far from each other, like hundreds of miles away. And what they realized, that one of the probes caught a humongous eye, and then one of the other probes caught a humongous limb, and then they started to realize that it was something like way bigger than they thought, and all the tadpole aliens were just freaking out and all this other stuff, and the big mass's movement destroyed all the probes, and that's where the story ends.
Dude, if that actually happened, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. One thing that I've actually been thinking about that people are kind of misconstrued and like don't really realize is that when people think about aliens, they think about the generic alien that we think in our head. They're really intelligent and stuff like that. That's not entirely true. Really, something simple as bacteria, as small as that, is considered an alien. Like if there is bacteria on Mars that we don't know about, but when we get there we find that it's an alien thing, that it's an alien bacteria and stuff like that, which is crazy. And especially with that, I mean, there's an ocean underneath all that ice, and if that's not true, there's still a possibility that there are things underneath there. And if that is true, that is crazy to think about, that there's a moon, not a planet, it's a moon that has life on it. I mean, it's just awesome to think about.
Yeah, dude, it's absolutely crazy. And even if like that was true, that'd be crazy. You know how much like, dude, you know how insane the world would go?
Well, what do you mean? What would change?
Well, people would freak out and be like, oh my god, like you guys fucking woke it up and blah blah blah, now we gotta nuke the moon.
Oh yeah, you're right. That probably would happen. People can just shut up. I mean, we're okay. No, we are. I would say 99.9% positive that we are the most intelligent life in our solar system. Okay, and I think if we weren't, we wouldn't know already. Or maybe now I'm just thinking, bro. maybe we're not. And the fact that we think we are is the reason we're not. Like they're so smart, they know how to hide themselves. That's crazy. Yeah, but I can definitely see people reacting like that.
Oh yeah, for
Like, oh,
sure.
would you mess with him and stuff like that? It's like, dude, we are a curious species. Okay, we are made to just explore. I think personally, we are made to explore the space in general, not technically the universe, because that's almost impossible to just explore the whole entire universe, but just space. You know, nearby space, maybe our galaxy at one point, and just explore and just find out new things. One thing that I did learn today about watching that channel, the Science Channel,
Right.
is that our solar system isn't normal. You know how normal it looks, it's all circle and stuff like that. Compared to all these other solar systems that are in our galaxy, ours is completely different. Ours is the odd one out.
What do you
Isn't
mean?
that crazy to think about? He didn't really explain it too much, which I am kind of mad about. I wish he did, because that was blowing my mind. I think it's because we have a sun and we have multiple planets revolving around the sun. And all these other solar systems only have one or maybe two planets, you know, revolving around the sun. I think that's what it is. And all of our planets are revolving, I don't know the right word, but we're all revolving pretty much the same way, and that's more of like an oval, you know, type shape. And these other solar systems, they're all sporadic, and they're going all the way around, kind of like an atom, you know, with the electrons going around the nucleus. They're kind of like that. And that's why I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's why we're the odd one out, because we're so perfect, I guess you could say. And that could be why we have life, is because our solar system is actually like calm, and it's just the same way almost every single time. You know, that could be why we have life on the planet.
Yeah, but all things come to an end.
That's a given, bro. Our sun's, I mean, even if we don't like destroy a planet with this climate change and stuff like that, or whatever you want to call it, pollution.
The sun will turn
The sun's
into
gonna
a
blow up
red
eventually.
giant, and then
Yeah, the sun's gonna blow up eventually.
yeah.
Eventually, I think it's inevitable for us to like avoid nuclear destruction. I think it's like impossible for us to avoid it. There's just no way. Like once when all these countries develop these nukes and stuff like that, and they feel like they're like, because it's very secretive, you know. Like, countries aren't open to how many nukes they have. And I guarantee you, when a small country thinks they have a lot of nukes, they're going to try and take over the world or something like that. It's just going to happen. World War III is going to happen. It's impossible for it not to happen.
It's the unfortunate thing, though. We don't know when. We don't know if it's going to be Donald Trump that causes it, or if it's going to be someone else, or just...
It's not going to be the United States that causes it. I don't care who the president is. The United States won't cause World War III. They just won't. I know that for a fact. It's going to be a rogue country that just feels like they are more powerful than everybody else. It's just what's going to meet. That's what's going to happen, bro. I was getting to a point, and I completely forgot. Dang, I forgot. I really did. Kind of left you on a cliffhanger there. I apologize.
It's all good. It's not like anybody's watching.
I left you personally on a cliffhanger. I wasn't talking about everybody else. You kidding me? Good man. Anyways, another thing that I learned on this channel, dude, I watched this thing for 30 minutes and I learned more than I have reading a book. I swear to God. The biggest volcano in our solar system is on Mars. You wanna know why it's so big?
Why?
Okay, so first of all, let's go to Earth. We have tectonic plates. Our plates consistently move and stuff like that, right? So the way volcanoes are created is molten lava comes up from the core, leaks into the crust, and it just builds up, builds up, builds up. But since we have tectonic plates, these plates move, so the lava can't build up the volcano for a long time.
Mhm.
Maybe a couple years or a couple hundred years to build up a decent sized volcano. Over on Mars, Mars doesn't have tectonic plates. The crust is just still. It never moves, ever.
Mhm.
So when lava leaks, it just keeps on leaking, keeps on building up. So the volcano just keeps on growing and growing and growing. Now I think it's very stagnant and I don't think it grows anymore. But it's huge, bro. It's huge. So it's a volcano, right?
Right.
The edges of it are a cliff. 6 miles high. A cliff 6 miles high.
What?
Yes. I don't know what the circumference is and the diameter of the volcano. I think it's a couple thousand miles. It's crazy. I know I don't know the correct term for it, but the hole where the lava comes out,
Mhm.
I think they said it was somewhere between 50 to 100 miles in diameter.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's huge, and it's just crazy to think that's just chilling there on Mars. You know, you can only imagine how long that's been building up.
Gargantuan volcano chilling on Mars.
Ginormous volcano. It's awesome.
That's crazy.
Mm.
Oh. Bro, like, do you think any natural disasters would happen soon?
What do you mean, like a tornado, hurricane,
Or just
wildfire?
like I don't know, anything. Like, do you think something could possibly happen in a few years? And if so, if you do think that, then
I mean, yeah, you have to say yes. Because it's predictable, but it's very unpredictable, you know?
mhm.
It's predictable in the sense of a couple days, but if you're thinking a couple years, it's very unpredictable. You can't predict it at all. So you have to say yeah. You do think. There's definitely going to be a tornado next year. Whoever it's going to be, there's going to be a tornado, okay? There's going to be some sort of fire next year. It might not be huge, but there's going to be a fire. There's going to be a hurricane. It might not be an American. It might not be in America, but there's going to be a hurricane. You know. There's actually like a tropical storm that's building up in the Gulf right now that could potentially turn into a hurricane. I don't know
Oh
how
yeah,
many
I
days
think I
it is
saw
out.
that.
Yeah. But you have to say yeah with that question. I mean, it's just inevitable. Natural disasters just always happen. Can't stop them. And we definitely shouldn't try to stop them. That's for sure. We should not try and stop natural disasters. They're terrible, but they could be worse. You know, I mean, God only knows what happens if you try and nuke a hurricane. Or maybe it evolves somehow. You know, and it's
Like Godzilla, dude.
radiated
Holy
wind.
shit.
Yeah, what if it's like radiated wind?
Well,
You know,
like,
and it
yeah,
rains
of course.
acid.
I saw a video on that. Like, what if we nuked a fucking hurricane? And bro,
That
like,
was the dumbest idea.
that wouldn't do shit. It would just, the hurricane would still happen. It's just, it would rain radioactive, contaminated water, and it would be just like,
Yeah.
it'd just be terrible, dude.
Yeah, it's not a smart idea to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not throwing shade to anybody. Whoever came up with the idea, I have no idea who came up with the idea.
It was
I know
dumb.
Donald Trump said he didn't come up with the idea. He said, "Is that a possibility?" He was asking a question, and people misconstrued it. Like he said, like, "Hey, maybe we can nuke hurricanes. What happens if that happens?" People misconstrued it, and it was like, "Oh my God, he said he wants to nuke hurricanes." It's like, I read like 2 or 3 articles on it because when you told me about it a couple of weeks ago or something like that, I was like, "What? There's no way." I read articles. I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes more sense."
That's on me though, cause like social media, just like I didn't really study it or like look
Yeah,
into
no,
what he
don't
was
even worry about it.
saying.
I'm not putting you on blast or anything like that. You said it, and I was like, "No way that happened." It was so interesting. But dude, social media is a terrible way to get information.
Yeah.
It's so bad, man. I mean, that's all you gotta say right then. Like, it's just the best way to get information is to get it yourself, or literally get it from a news source. You know,
Mhm.
and even today, you can't really trust any news sources anymore.
Yeah.
You can't, because all this controversy that all these news sources are favoring these political views, and these political views leak into some other types of views on how we should solve things and stuff like that, like gun control and stuff like that. It's just, it's completely toxic. I
Mhm.
hate politics. Politics is ruining everything for literally us. It's just ruining everything for us.
Yeah.
It's tearing this country apart. It really is.
Politics and social media, man.
They don't mix. They can't mix. I've been saying ever since 2016, ever since that election, presidential candidates should not be allowed to use social media. They shouldn't be able to use that at all.
Do you think Donald
I don't
Trump's
care if
actually
it's
like
the president.
using?
Oh no, I don't think he uses Twitter. I think he has someone using it for him. I
Really?
mean, I'm not denying that what he says. No, I'm not denying what he tweets is what he says. I'm
Mhm.
just saying there's no way he's going out and tweeting that. He's not doing that. Someone is doing it for him. It could be his wife, to be honest. Um,
Are you sure you want me to say that? Yeah, fuck it.
yeah, I don't think he uses Twitter. I mean, he might have sometimes, but
Mhm.
right now, as a president, no, I don't think he is. I don't care what people think about him. He's still doing presidential things every single day. He's not sitting around with his finger in his belly button drinking a Mexican martini, you know?
Yeah.
He's actually doing things, even though it's doesn't seem like he is. And they might not make a difference, but he's still talking and thinking about ways to help everybody. Even though he's a very controversial president, and it's probably most of the time not the best way, he doesn't go about the things the best way. He's
Mhm.
still trying to do his best, you know?
Because we've
Um,
talked about this before. We think he's just like a businessman who's running the biggest market to be created, and that's just democracy and politics. Like,
yeah.
if you really think about it, it's fucking crazy about how just man, dude, fuck politics, bro.
I hate it.
Like, I
I
hate
hate
it.
it. You know, what's good about him that the something good about him being elected is that our country was in debt.
Mhm.
22 trillion. 22, I think almost 23. Thank God we got a businessman, literally, because I think I'm actually gonna look this up real quick
Okay.
because I think we've solved and resolved a lot of the debt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Uh, U.S. national debt hits record 22 trillion.
Jesus.
Now, federal deficits are now expected to average 1.2 trillion.
Oh, wow. For real?
As of December, hold on. As of December 31st, 2018, debt held by the public. So 16, it's 16, which is still pretty good. I mean, we got rid of
16 trillion?
trillion, yeah.
And it was.
We got rid of 7 trillion in 4 years. That was of 2018, December 31st.
Damn.
Yeah, so we got rid of 7 trillion in 2.5 years. I mean,
That's crazy. How did.
that's good.
I can't even, like,
You know,
fathom about how he did that. What he fucking
well,
went
it's
through.
creating jobs. We were in debt because we were paying all these companies, all these foreign companies, to make things for us.
Oh,
You
and now
know,
he was, like, for
and
the
we,
Made in USA movement thing like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you remember this, but when he talked about the good old days, do you remember when he said that and how
Yeah.
that was so
Ev-
controversial?
Everybody
People
thought.
thought it was because he wanted segregation and stuff like that, and he was racist. No, he was talking about he wants jobs back in America like the 50s and 60s. Unfortunately, the 50s and 60s, we were segregated,
Hmm.
but we were soaring. Our economy was soaring in the 50s and 60s.
He was just
You
focused
know,
on
if
the
we could go
money.
back like that, yeah, I mean, that's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. We needed a president to get us out of debt because it was screwing us over. It
Hmm.
really was. Well, but he's gonna go down in the history books. It's crazy.
Dude, our last two presidents are gonna go down in the history books.
Oh yeah, I mean, first African American president. Then we have a president that probably the most controversial president to ever be elected. Like it's cool. It's crazy that we're living that.
As much as we don't like, we say we don't want to. It's insane.
Mhm.
And like to live in a world where people like Elon Musk and fucking who else should I name? Robert Downey Jr. Just like Jonah Hill, bro. Have you like really seen what Jonah Hill has done for himself? Like I take a lot of inspiration from Jonah Hill, like a lot. Like just hear me out. So Jonah, what do you think about when you think of Jonah Hill? This fat, stupid, funny guy?
No, he's not. He's not that fat anymore, is he? He's definitely lost his weight, correct?
Yeah, but like, is that what you like would have thought if he was still the way he was?
As a comedic actor, maybe potential comedian.
Yeah, but he said that he got into acting on accident.
Really?
Yeah, like Seth Rogen just like loved who he was and like how he acted, and he said he saw him in himself, and he gave him the role, and like, you know. He was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. He bought like those glitter boots, and it was funny. It was like a funny little bit in the movie. And then he starred in probably one of the most funniest films in the 2010s. Dude, Superbad was just hilarious. Wait, when did Superbad come out? It came out in 2008, right?
It came out 2008, 2009. I think it was 2008. Maybe 2007, dude.
2007. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but still.
Years ago.
And then I want to see what else he worked on. He always loved to act. And he like admitted that. He's very grateful for all the roles he was given, like Moneyball, True Story with him and James Franco. Get Him to the Greek, Megamind, 21 and 22 Jump Street, and have you seen War Dogs with him and Miles Teller?
I have not.
Bro, it's so good. It's so good. And you can't forget This Is the End, Accepted, Sausage Party, How to Train Your Dragon. I forgot he was in Click, dude.
He was in Click?
Yeah.
What did he play in Click?
I forgot. Let me see. Jonah Hill played... Where did I find the cast? Anyways, just like... And then he came out with mid-90s. And you remember AJ just would not shut the fuck up about that movie. And then I watched it and I was like, holy shit. It was actually a really good movie. He took a lot of time and effort in the music and the story. And I watched his interview on Jonah Hill, and he was talking about how he made this movie for 7 years, and when he was going through dark days in his life where he was just depressed and lonely and just upset with himself and just like whatever any normal person would feel if they just felt isolated with the entire world. He went to mid-90s and he worked on mid-90s, and he just elevated the story and the characters and that. And I think that's why I really enjoyed it, is because you can feel the struggles of depression and anxiety and loneliness and all this other stuff. And bro, he knocked it out of the park. If you haven't seen that movie, you should definitely watch it. It was really good. The cast and most of the cast are just skaters that he picked up on the street. He's like, yo, you want to be in a movie? Like, I really like who you are and blah blah. And they're like, yeah, fuck it. And they were in his movie, bro. Like, they were just skaters just doing their thing, and they did that as the job.
What's the deal with Dazed and Confused? The main character kid. They picked him up right off the street, bro.
Sonny? The Sonny Kid? Cause that's his name.
Uh, um, I don't remember his name. I'm blanking right now on his name.
You're talking about the main character, right?
Yeah, the freshman, eighth grade.
Yeah, Sonny Soljic.
I guess is his
Yeah.
name. I don't remember at
He's an
all.
American actor and a skateboarder. He was the kid in God of War. Did you know that?
No, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he played it
Bro, are we talking about the same person?
in mid '90s.
No, I'm talking about Days of Confused. I'm saying how they just picked someone up off the street in Days Confused as well, and they just rolled with it, and he did a phenomenal
Oh,
job.
yeah.
It's it's crazy how people can just walk into things like that.
It's
You
just
know,
how it
opportunities.
happens.
Yeah. Like Jonah Hill, he didn't want to get in acting, but guess what? He's probably one of the most well-known actors today. You know?
Yeah, his laugh is iconic, just as iconic as Seth Rogen or who else's laugh is iconic. Heath Ledger's.
Oh my
Fuck.
God.
Who else? Who else has an iconic laugh?
An iconic laugh? Huh. Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Think about it. Remember the Christmas Carol?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He did all those characters. It's crazy, dude. He did so good with that movie, you think about it.
Mhm.
He's so talented, bro. To just be able to do all those characters and stuff like that.
What are your top 3 favorite movies? Go.
Top 3 favorite movies, dude. Oh my God, dude, that's always been a hard question for me because I've never been really been into movies
Uh huh.
at all. I've just watched them. Hey, man, that's a pretty good movie, you know.
Uh huh.
Um, dude, I've always liked American Sniper, dude. I've
That's a
always
pretty good
liked that
movie.
movie.
I like that movie. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I've always liked that movie. Um,
Bro,
dude, oh my
if you don't
God,
say what I think you're gonna say, I'm gonna flip.
I have no idea what you think I'm gonna say because
Just
I am
just keep
thinking.
saying.
Okay, so I would have to go in no particular order. I would have to go. Jesus Christ. So American Sniper, I would have to put that up there.
Yeah.
Ever since it came out, I was like, dude, that's my favorite movie of all time. Jesus. Oh my God. Dude, I might have to put Days Confused up there, dude. I love that movie so much.
Yeah. Go for it. We got a last one.
Like it's not well known at all, but like, dude, I mean, it actually is well known. I don't know, I'm tripping over that. It's just not that. It was not
It's
that
just
big of a
not
movie when it
relevant
first.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to put those two. Oh my God. What am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to say Avengers Endgame? Is that what you
No,
think I'm supposed to say?
no. You talked about it earlier.
Oh my God, Interstellar.
Yes,
100%.
bro.
Totally forgot about it.
Thank God.
100%. Those two. I would say those three.
Bro, okay, not my favorite, not my like top 3, but have you seen Whiplash?
No, I've
That
never heard of
drum
it.
movie,
Maybe I
bro?
have.
The one
Geez,
with
no,
Miles
I have
Teller?
not.
Bro, it is so good. Like, you need to watch it. It's about this jazz band drummer, who like got who this he's taught by this mentor who's like emotionally abusive towards his players, and like he just goes through this whole like journey of butting heads with him and trying to be the best, player he can be. And oh my God, dude, it's so good. You just need to watch it. I'll show you it later.
Dude, I'm
But
blanking on the movies that I've recently watched. And I'm like, dude, those are good movies. Dang. Anyways, keep on going.
top 3 movies I would say for me is Cloverfield is my number 1 movie. I'm always gonna watch that movie. Like, that's my favorite movie of all time. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
You know, I've actually never seen that movie.
What? You haven't seen
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim versus world, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I was never really into movies. Literally, probably last year is when I started like actually enjoying movies and actually paying attention to what's coming out and stuff.
Got it. And I think my third one would have to be The Wolf of Wall Street. I
Oh my
absolutely
God,
love that movie. It is such a good movie.
dude! I love that movie too. You want to know why?
Why?
Margot Robbie's hot as hell, bro.
Bro,
Jesus
she's naked in the
Christ.
movie.
Oh my God, you're right. I completely forgot about
I
that.
had to go down on that in the podcast, but like, dude, it's a good movie. Margot Robbie's naked. Like, fuck.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that too?
Huh.
That was made in 2013.
Yeah, bro.
She was 23 in that movie.
Yeah, bro.
23. Okay,
Crazy.
dude, that's literally 3 years away from what age I am right now. You kidding me? That's just crazy to think about. I don't know why. There was something else that I was like, do you remember Zoe Berger?
Yeah.
You remember that? Okay, so when she when she like got popular and stuff like that, and when she said I'm gonna post my nudes at 1 million subscribers, and she was just fucking getting popular just because she said that and stuff like that, whatever you want to call that. I can't think of a word. She was 19.
What?
That's what, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm 19 right now, bro. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I just saw a picture of her. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about her. Oh my God. And
Bro,
I started Googling and stuff like that, and I saw a picture of her, and I was like, dude, that's what she looks like at 19. Jesus Christ. That's a pretty good looking 19-year-old. A pretty grown 19-year-old. You know what I mean?
Bro, have you seen the Sicario movies?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
those are so
Those
good.
those are good. They just came out with a second one, didn't they?
They came out with the second one a few months ago. It was called Sicario Days of Soldado or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but the other one I've seen 100% the first one. Seen
With
that multiple
Emily
times. It's a
Blunt.
good movie. Yeah. This is a good movie.
Speaking of Emily Blunt, dude, A Quiet Place and Edge of Tomorrow. Have you seen those movies?
Yeah, I've seen A Quiet Place. Edge of Tomorrow, I don't recall.
That's the one with Tom Cruise and the aliens, and like he relives the day over and over to like.
How long ago did it come out?
Let me see.
Oh yeah, I have not seen this movie.
What, dude?
It
It's
right
so
now.
good.
Is it really good?
It's actually pretty good. Like people thought it was gonna be a classic Tom Cruise like throwaway DVD movie, but like it got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's a 8.5 or something like that on IMDb or IMD. It's a pretty good movie.
Dang, I honestly have never heard of this movie.
Definitely watch that too. Oblivion with Tom Cruise was good.
I've seen Oblivion.
Oh, you know what superhero movie I really liked? That like not a lot of people really like. I liked Man of Steel.
Dude, I knew you were gonna say that. Man of Steel was great.
Man of Steel's such a
Okay,
good
it wasn't
movie.
great. It was good. It was really good. I liked the way they did it. Yeah, I like that a lot. Dude, I feel like what the heck? I'm remembering something about Superman that just happened to me. Like I was like, oh my God, what the heck? What was it? Like, it was something about his cape. Maybe I had a dream or something about his cape. I don't know. That's weird. You said Man of Steel, and I instantly thought of like this image that popped in my head about his cape. It was weird. It had to be in a dream. I have not seen this movie. A Quiet Place. I went to go see it in the movie theaters when it first came out.
Well, did you? Oh, yeah, I remember. AJ told me.
Yeah.
Bro, I was kind of pissed I wasn't invited to that, but it's fine. It's whatever. I'm not mad.
I don't even remember how I got invited. I really don't. Because all I remember is that like AJ was like, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember what happened. All I remember is that Jared bought my ticket, and I was very thankful for him buying my ticket, and we went right after a baseball game. I had a baseball game, so I was.
And you smoked. You smoked in the intermission of driving there.
Yeah. That was the worst experience I've ever had. It wasn't though, you know, it wasn't. It wasn't the worst experience. That was just weird and it was kind of scary.
Mhm.
Because I was on 1826 turning on the slaughter, right?
Mhm.
Dude, right when I was passing the middle school, I was like, Jared, you know what? I love it. I cannot feel my legs right now.
How am I supposed to get
I
out of here?
pulled, dude, I pulled into the Gretzky parking lot and I got out and he drove the way in there, dude. I couldn't drive. I
Really?
couldn't. Yeah. I just posted up like on the window, like on the door of the passenger seat. I just posted up there and I was just laughing. That was fun, dude. See, I can recall that time so well, but I can't recall other times that detailed.
Mm.
I can tell you everything that happened that night almost. I remember we were crossing escarpment and there was this fire truck and I was like, dude, we're getting pulled over. I was so paranoid after that. I got really paranoid. And then it left again. You know what's even worse?
Hmm.
After the movie, I drove home and I was still, you know, I was still up there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it started pouring rain.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was like,
Pouring. It
were
was
you still
terrible.
tweaking, bro?
I was gone, bro. But I could feel my legs this time.
That was good.
You know, so when I was driving, and I was like, oh my god. But it was still a very soothing experience. Because by the time I dropped Jared off, I drove myself back home, and it was just like lightly raining. I was
Mhm.
like, dude, I'm in paradise right now. It was just, and the smell of rain, you know, that
I
smell?
love the smell of rain.
It's amazing. But yeah, that was the first time I ever went to go see A Quiet Place, which Jared fell asleep in, by the way, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was a good movie though, even though they didn't say a single word the whole movie. It was still like a great movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie. I'm
Pretty cool
surprised.
how they did that.
It's cool that they learned sign language for the movie too, and like one of the daughter was deaf. Like actually,
Yeah.
bro, you know what movie I miss? You know, I wish like there were more movies like that.
What?
Step Brothers.
I
Like
remember watching Step Brothers for the first time.
the
I
Will
was like
Ferrell
6.
and John C. Riley like duo were so good, and then like that
They did so many
Holmes
movies
movie,
together.
that Sherlock movie came out, bro. It was terrible.
Yeah. Talladega Nights, bro? Like what? Great
That
movie.
was a good movie too. Shit.
Yeah. The Sherlock and Holmes, whatever they did, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was awful.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they bad in it, or like this the plot was terrible?
I'm sure the plot was stupid. I'm sure the fucking what's it called? The script was probably stupid. I bet you they didn't even want to do it. They wanted to create something that was like that. That was like Step
You
Brothers
know,
and Talladega Nights, except it's just like we're just so sensitive now that we have to, you know.
yeah, for real, dude. AJ was talking about that not too long ago too. Like how all the new comedy movies, they're not funny anymore.
Like, there's not gonna be another comedy movie like Superbad or Sausage Party ever again.
There's never gonna, I'm surprised they even got away with Sausage Party. When did that movie come out, 2014?
2017
What?
Sausage Party. Let me see.
No, there's no way it came out in 2017.
2016.
Okay. Yes, yeah, I'm still surprised they got away with that movie,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
I guess because it was animated, it was okay.
I mean, I guess.
But there really isn't gonna be another good comedy movie for a while.
Bro, you remember
So people
Borat?
what movie?
Borat?
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 No? What?
With Sacha Baron Cohen, bro? You haven't seen that?
No?
Are you fuck? I'm about to end the stream because of you.
Bro, what? I don't know. I don't even know what you're saying.
You don't know who Borat is?
No.
Bro. Get the fuck out.
Oh. I had to look him up. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know who he
gosh.
is. Ali G, bro. I love that. Yeah, okay, yes. Continue. What were you gonna say? I apologize.
I just want to know if you knew what Borat was, or like that movie was just so offensive. It's so funny, and like people will be like, "Oh my god, like Sacha Baron Cohen is like such a terrible actor. Because he was in that guy in The Dictator, and he played as that gay dude in Bruno, and he plays very interesting roles.
Yeah, and they're very interesting. And sometimes very controversial.
But there's this one movie that came out with him. I think it was on Netflix. It's called The Spy. I'm not entirely sure on what it was about, but I'm pretty sure he went undercover inside Syria, and I think it's like a dramatic movie for him. And I don't think
Really?
he's done that many like dramatic roles. I think the last dramatic role that I think he did was in Les Miserables, that musical type,
Huh?
that musical movie or some shit.
Musicals.
Yeah, but oh my god, dude, he was in Talladega Nights. He was fucking Jean Girard. Totally forgot, dude.
What?
He was the racer that like broke Will Ferrell's arm. Remember?
Oh my god.
That's great. I just realized that.
Dude, I need to watch Talladega Nights again.
Bro, that movie is great. I absolutely love that movie.
Me and like Bubba and Jared watched it one time. Yeah, this is good. You know what show was like? It's a TV show. And it was like so funny the first time me personally I watched it. It was so funny. And I like liked it. But I tried to like kind of rewatch it a little bit. I was like, I watched this? And I was like, why did I watch this? It's so weird. You know what show I'm talking about?
What show?
But
What's it called?
Big Mouth?
Oh. Yeah, I didn't finish that.
Yeah, I watched it and I was like, dude, this is hilarious. I love the hormone monster. Well, how you doing, Boulder? You know
Yeah, the
what
horror
I'm
monsters.
saying,
It
bro?
was funny. It's a good concept, but like, dude,
And
sometimes.
then I watched it again and I'm like, what the fuck? Why did I watch this, dude?
Yeah.
Was I on crack? It's nasty. It's terrible. But it's hilarious.
It is
But it's
funny,
not.
but it's not.
Yeah, it's so like The Walking Dead. Walking Dead sucks now, right? I haven't watched it personally in a while.
I think the last like thing that I watched from The Walking Dead was Rick's last episode.
Yeah. I I think they just came out with season 9, I think, on Netflix. I was like, dude, maybe I should watch it, see how it is. Yeah, I watched this last season with Rick when he died. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Died, quotation marks.
Oh, you're...
He didn't really die, remember?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, that makes me want to watch it now. Yeah, but like, and then like, after it was just the girl and stuff. I was like, dude, this is starting to get kind of cringy, dude. I only want to watch it. I stopped watching like halfway through the season. I think that was season 8, maybe, when that happened, right? I remember when the trailer for that season came out. Remember that? And it was him in the casket with his beard. And I was like, oh my god.
Long time ago.
I know. That show's kind of dying. Kinda. I miss Drake and Josh.
I miss Drake and Josh too.
I watched it on Hulu not too long ago. I was like, dude, this is a good show. This is hilarious. I love it. I see why I loved it so much when I was a kid. I still like it now. Same thing with SpongeBob, dude. I watched some of the old SpongeBob episodes. I'm like, dude, this is just classic stuff right here. I was at Cade's Ranch. We were watching SpongeBob on Sunday. Just watching it, dude, for 2 hours. We were just chilling watching SpongeBob. And then the SpongeBob movie came on. It's just memories, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Can't
Bro,
stop loving it,
I was
man.
so happy when Jake let me borrow his Hulu account to watch Drake and Josh, bro. I remember I watched all the seasons, and then I watched that Christmas movie they made.
Oh my god, they did make a Christmas movie.
And then the really big shrimp episode. I fucking love that episode.
It's crazy that Josh Peck is like Old now.
Dude, he's a fucking dad.
He's a dad, bro.
And Drake Bell's still making music with a six pack and hella tattoos.
Dude, that's so weird, bro. Like, when I think back of watching that show, it was just a fat teenager, you know,
Mm-hmm.
freshman, sophomore in high school. Now he's a dad, bro.
He was a fat bitch. Now he's a fucking dad.
Now he's a dad, and he's somewhat in good shape.
Does he still hang around with David Dobrik?
Probably. Probably. I mean, he just had a kid the past, what, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah, I'm sure that fucker's busy.
Yeah. That's, dude. Oh my god. The world has changed the past decade.
It really has.
It really has. Like, for some things as small as TV shows, you know?
Mm-hmm.
TV shows that we grew up watching, 2009. What was that for me? Third grade? And the cartoons, stuff like that. They're great, they're fun. I'm looking at some of the cartoons today. I'm like, what the fuck? Kids watch this, bro? This is not entertaining at all. I never understand it. I don't understand it. And like how parents will let their kids just be on an iPhone all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I would never give my kids... Let's not get into that, man.
I watched this thing about what makes a kid tougher.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that like makes them tough and makes them deal with things a lot easier is going outside and taking a walk.
Okay, I was about to say, if it's not going outside and playing or doing something like that, I'm not educated at all.
But no,
Dude,
yeah.
100%. Like 100%. I went
Like-
outside all the time when I was a kid. And I'm not afraid to say it, but like I'm a very emotionalist person.
Mm-hmm.
I lack emotion, bro. I don't show emotion to things. I don't care about things. You know, it's like, oh, that happened? Don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not even as a joke. Like, I could care less who the president is. I can care less what someone said about me. Okay, you said it. Congratulations. I don't care. You know? I just straight up, I don't care about anything people say. It's honestly a gift. I love not caring. Makes me feel like makes me feel like I don't care. I don't know what to say.
Do you think that's like also scary? Like, what if you find yourself in a relationship and you realize you're not like emotionally invested as the other?
Oh no, I know I'll be emotionally invested in a relationship. I know that. I'm just saying about like other things. Like I have emotions about people I love. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if one of my friends, if you drop dead tonight, like right after we get off, I'd be horrified, bro. I'd be freaking like, what? Dude, I was talking to him 5 minutes ago, you know?
Yeah.
My mom died tomorrow, God forbid. I'd be broken. I don't know what I would do if my mom died, like, within the next year. I don't know what I would do. I would be... Oh my God, dude. But I'm just talking about, like, smaller things. Like, other people's opinions. I don't care about other people's opinions. On me, personally. Like, what they think about me. I don't care. I don't.
I wish I was like that.
I don't care.
I mean, I wish I was like that when I was, in school. You know, all I did all the time was just take people's problems and make them my own and try to solve it for them, and it made them happy. But like, there was just a part of me for so long.
Puts a lot on you, bro. It's a big load. Someone to carry.
And I think that's like what got me into really like shitty situations in my life where I was just battling with how I felt about myself and like whether or not I was good enough or the things that I was doing were good enough for my friends and stuff like that. And I felt a lot like that with, Savannah, my ex-girlfriend. I genuinely loved her and cared about her for a really long time. And a small part of me, like, still hopes, just like, I just feel like I hope she's okay and I hope she's happy, because I know that if she's happy, then I'm fine, because that's all I've cared about, you know? And that's all I've
Mm-hmm.
cared about with anybody is their happiness. And that took like such a toll on me, and I learned like so much just from like the 4 years, and then this these 3 months in the summer where I really like focused on myself and who I wanted to be. And I touched to things that I didn't even think I would touch back with, and listen, and was inspired by people and music that I never thought I would listen to. Like, I never thought I would listen to music like Tame Impala, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like so hooked on them. And you you find a good you find an outlet, and you can really connect with it, because you realize how small you are in a tiny planet filled with 8 billion people, that you're bound to, go through the same shit as 100 people in a room. Like five out of 10 people are probably struggling with the same things you're struggling with, and you don't even know it. You walk around people every day, and their situations are probably worse than yours. And I don't know. It's just like it was crazy to me about how much I wanted to, make everybody happy, but like, you don't realize how much of a toll that takes on you until you realize it's too late. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I cared so much for friends that a specific person who I will not name kind of ruined the relationship between me and those people, as well as more friends that I developed over the years, that it just, I cared about them too much, and they didn't care. They weren't involved as I was involved in the friendship and sometimes relationship. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty toxic in my past relationships. Um, I just couldn't make up my mind. It's just, I was just so confused on what I wanted, and just how I felt about myself. And I knew that if I couldn't love myself, then I couldn't love the significant other in the relationship. But I always like genuinely cared about said person. But it just got to a point where it was so toxic that it was slowly killing me. And you could see it in my diet, you could see it in my face, you could see it in my
Mm-hmm.
eyes. Like 3 months ago, you saw me, and I was just this big, pale, acne faced. My hair was just messy as fuck. I didn't take care of my hygiene. I, had this like bad odor. And when I finally like realized, my self-worth and all this other stuff, I started to like pay attention to the little things, and realize that it's good to be more tidy, it's good to be more organized, it's good to have, you know, um, self-care, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish I just gave myself the advice in high school, or even in middle school. I was like that. I was like this, or I was like that. I just cared so much about people's problems and people's opinions that are like torn to me. And when I realized that the person that I cared and loved about the most like didn't love me anymore, and that I really like fucked up, and it was like all my fault, I realized that a change had to be made, and I don't have to prove it to her or anybody else. I just have to prove it to myself, and realize the fact that I can love myself and evolve and always keep evolving. It's just good to evolve in small steps and be done with a chapter in your life, and that chapter's over, and that you don't have to go back to that. And by the chapter, I mean like high school, and just like battling anything that a regular teenager would go through when they're going through public school. You meet all sorts of people, you feel all sorts of things, you experience new things, you meet, people that are very different from you. You meet people that are very similar to you. You meet people that will drive you to try new things, even if that's peer pressure or just convincing you that whatever is cool. Like, because I had AJ and Jared, and they're like, and after I became friends with them again, for those of you who don't know, I was a retard back in, I wouldn't say retard, sorry. I was a dumbass in middle school, and at the end of 8th grade, I decided one day to steal video games from AJ and an old friend named Corey. Got caught, gave them back their video games, didn't talk to them for the whole summer, and then that's when Jared moved next to me, and we rode the same bus, and I talked to him. And at this point, I was dating some chick that I dated in middle school, and I didn't really I was being a toxic person, and then about her too.
Middle school relationships,
bro. Don't even get me started. But anyways,
it's funny.
Yeah. But anyways, so I'm back friends with AJ and Jared and all the guys, and they're like, dude, play football with us, because they all play football back then. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And I joined. I had no idea what I was doing. I was fucking up for like 2 weeks straight, but I wanted to stay because I knew that, this is, as much as I had no idea what football, the concept of football was into my developing brain, I knew that I wanted to do it, and I knew that it was healthy for me. And just stuff like that is what really, it's those type of things that you take from high school. It's those type of friends that, help you extend your mind and extend your actions in what you can do and show your potential. Because I never thought I would be able to squat 300 pounds, but there I was, and my max in senior year was 320 on the squats, and I was like, damn, bro, I'm a beast. And now I'm glad I can say, I'm confident that I can say that I've changed into a person who isn't, always looking for a relationship, who always isn't looking for someone to be devoted to or to rely on. I'm glad I evolved into a person that learned how to be independent and knows that it's okay to be alone sometimes with your thoughts, because just being alone with your thoughts could mean a lot of things, you could be perfectly fine, you're just thinking of just random shit, or you could be feeling sad, and then your thoughts and your mind will tell you that, oh, nobody gives a fuck about you and blah blah blah, but that's all bullshit. No matter how hard your situation is in your life, people are always going to care about you. And even if you 100% know for a fact that nobody gives a fuck about you, then you have to be an asshole, and you have to realize that there should be change coming in your life. You're always going to have a parent or guardian when you're someone our age, or a sibling to look up to, or a sibling to look forward to at the end of your day,
or sibling to set a role model for.
Yeah. You go home and you give that sibling something that they can take for themselves to become a better person. Yeah. I had this idea in the summer. I don't know why. I just wanted to make it into a fucking shirt because I thought it was so cool. I had this idea that I would take a negative thought and transform that into a positive action. Because then that positive action would then send good karma in your conscious, and it would make you feel good about yourself. And so every time you would have a negative thought, you would turn that into a positive action. And that means like any negative thought, like, oh, no one gives a fuck about me. And then you realize maybe I should go downstairs and, you know, tell my mom I love her. Or maybe you're just like, man,
Give someone
everybody.
a reason to actually care about you.
Yeah. You
Mm-hmm.
know your self-worth by providing what's the word I'm trying to say? Providing a sense of backup, I guess. Just to know that if you're feeling this way, then nobody else should feel that way. Just to know, just if you feel that way, you should always strive to make sure that nobody else feels that way either, because it sucks. You know, depression's shit. Like it's just as bad as it can be, just as bad as like cancer or whatever. And that really takes a toll on a lot of teenagers and just developing tweens and all that shit, and they go through a lot of stuff in their childhood. And you know you meet a lot of people in school and they're just like, yeah, my parents are divorced, I don't really give a fuck though, I'll just party and like all that other stuff. And then you would see people who are just hardworking, and you would see people who don't even give a fuck about anything, and they have it all.
Mm-hmm.
You also see the athletes and all this other stuff, and it's really hard because in movies there's always those like groups, those cliques, like the nerds or the jocks and stuff like that. And I hate how that's portrayed, because it's not like
Mm-hmm.
anything like that at all. Like, bullying is fucking stupid nowadays.
It's not a thing.
Yeah. Like, if you're
I
bullying,
honestly, throughout my whole entire schooling, I've never seen someone get shoved into a locker just because they're small and smart. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I've never seen it. Never seen it.
If you're smart, you're fucking advanced.
Yeah.
Like, even if you can
that's good.
fathom a
It's a great
concept of math that most people really can't, even if you enjoy like doing math and science, and it doesn't even have to be math and science, it could be history, it could be social studies, it could be economics, psychology, it could be any of those classes, it could be a club that you're in, it could be a sport. You could be smart in knowing what type of plays you do, what type of movement you should be making. You can develop it. Everything takes a lot of knowledge. And when you learn all these things, when you meet people who are in these different, sets of knowledge, like bases of knowledge, that's what I guess what I would call like groups or cliques, just like people who have this similar bases of knowledge. And you like meet them and you get to know them, and they tell you about like their experiences and just all this other stuff. You start to feel more aware. You realize that it's not just you, and every single person is different. Like, even if they're twins or triplets or whatever the fuck, like every single person is different. They have their own mind, they have their own consciousness, they are going through their own story. Because you can't tell me that you don't walk around in your life and you don't think you're starring in your own movie. Like, do you think that? Because I think about that all the time. Like, I just feel like I'm in my own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because people, they view themselves as that. And they can also, shoot themselves down and all this other stuff. But then you realize, it's okay to be feeling any type of way that you are. Just know that the only person's opinion that really matters is yourself. And the best thing I can get out of all of this is just know your self-worth. Know that, no matter what, that you can always just find a way to keep going or get yourself back up. And You know, just things like that. I forgot who said it, but someone said something about rock bottom. You know, they thought that their life in rock bottom, they took that um, they took that concept and they built their base on rock bottom, and they just kept building up and up and up until they were, you know, successful and happy and just like all this other stuff. And happiness can mean thousands upon millions of things to anybody, you know. Success can mean, you know, banking out and having a fat bank account and stuff. Could be, you know, a collection of whatever the fuck, like a house or a car. It could be, what else could it be? Finding love,
Yeah.
finding closure, finding peace. I think what I want to find in like my life before it ends is just finding peace and finding true pure happiness in like its rawest form, you know.
Yeah.
And I think just going through it every single year of your life until, you know, you just, you know, you die, you should always strive to, you know, seek the purest form of happiness you can possibly reach. And that could be anything, you know. It could be a dream house, it could be a kid, a dog, and like another pet. What else could it be? A relationship.
Mm-hmm. Can be an item.
Yeah, it could be an item. It could be the concept of overcoming an addiction. You know, if it was with drugs or alcohol or a person or just like something that you knew for a long time that it was taking a toll on your life and it's slowly killing you inside. You know, finding a way to escape that. I just think that everybody in their lives should find peace. You know, at some point in their life, just like take a moment and realize, holy shit, this is life. I'm living. I have the rest of however long I have left to live to, you know, keep moving forward as far as I possibly can, and just to spread as much positivity and just like love and all that stuff. And like people nowadays, like we need to loosen the fuck up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to get back
Yeah,
to,
really.
you know, we need to get back to like having, you know, we just need to be, just need to learn to take a joke, you know. We're so concerned with who's Dave Chappelle saying what, Donald Trump tweeting what, like, man, it's all
Yeah,
fucking
it's terrible.
jokes. It's social media. It's a blanket of lies that will make you want to hate a person. But then when you're researching all that, you realize it's out of context. Everything about social media is out of context. Like those police brutality videos, you don't know what's going on before and after the video.
Yeah.
What else, man? Like fucking, it's just crazy to think how out of context a lot of social media is. Like clickbait. Clickbait on YouTube videos is, for one, probably one of the biggest social media things ever. I fucking hate clickbait, dude.
You can
It's such a,
clickbait anything, not just YouTube videos. Though you can clickbait a news article.
you can clickbait a
You
news
know.
article, a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. You can clickbait so much stuff. You can clickbait a product that you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
Clickbait. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah. What I've noticed that I've learned to do in really any type of negative situation, or if someone tells me something that's, you know, not there's something that's not positive, which I guess is a negative, but it's not terrible. I learned to take humor out of it. I learned to take the negative thought and make it funny. in my mind, personally. Because if you just do it out loud, you're just going to be a dick, you know? I
Yeah.
learned to myself to be like, oh, that's negative, and make it funny somehow. That's what I learned to do over the past, like, 4 years. Or something like that. I'm not gonna lie, when you were talking and you said tween, I laughed to myself, like, tween, that's a funny word. I really did that, take my mind off what you were saying, just so, you know, it's something that I just learned to do. It's just automatic.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it. I really don't. But it's just, it's what I've been doing is what I do.
Isn't that crazy? Specific words, specific noises, smells, sounds can really just like trigger an emotional nostalgic memory in your brain that you don't even remember that was there. But if it's always been there, has it just been locked away out of your brain? You only accessed it until it was appeared in your, you know, conscious, your active conscious state, and it just picked it up out of its file, and it was like, oh yeah, this was there a really long time ago. Remember? Yeah. And you're like, oh fuck, I fucking remember. Like, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, bro. Like that one time, bro, I ate out a waffle edible a couple months back. I was just laying on the bed, dude, and I closed my eyes and I was just seeing these images. And to be honest, to this day, I still think there are memories from when I'm a baby, bro, from when I was a baby.
Damn.
Like, I just closed my eyes and I just remember looking down at my legs when I had my eyes closed and seeing the fat, chubby legs of a baby. You know, I'm like, I
you look up and you're like, go the ginga.
Dude, it was just crazy. It was crazy.
Bro.
And a lot of these memories that you don't remember, they're always there.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, the reason why I said that was because I watched that movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
And it was like in the scene where he first took the drug. Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah, so it was like a drug that just makes you super focused. You just know everything. It basically accesses 100% of your brain, like all 100%. And the scene where he like takes it and he's walking up the stairs and he sees his landlord's wife. She's like yelling at him for like not paying rent or something, and the drug starts to activate. And he looks down at her bag and he sees the corner of a book that he saw from a girl's dorm room that he was trying to have sex with, like when he was in college. And he like remembered what that book looked like, what it is about, and he just like started spouting information about what the landlord's wife was trying to learn, because I think she was like going to school and like she was trying to write a paper. And then he helps the landlord's wife finish the fucking paper in a day, published and polished and perfect. And then he has sex with her. And then he goes home. He goes home and he's like, holy shit, I fucking did that. And he walks around his apartment and he's like, this is a mess. He cleans, organizes, tidies up his entire apartment. And then he sits down. He realizes he's still on the fucking drug. And he works on his book or whatever I think he was working on. He worked on how he can develop money in the stocks. You know, he was like a supercomputer who was just dialed into everything he was doing, and he did it from start to finish in a very short amount of time. That's just crazy. And if there's a drug if there's a drug that can come close to that, it would probably be what, a mix between shrooms and coke.
Well, like it wouldn't be psychedelic. It wouldn't make you trip. It would just be a
enhancer.
Stimulant. It would just stimulate your brain because you're just accessing 100% of your memory. So everything that you see that you've seen before, you just remember seeing. Which, to be honest, in real life, you see the same things, especially like around your room, you see the same things over and over again. You know, and if you're on that drug, this might not happen, but this is the first thing I thought of. If you were on that drug, if it's a thing, and you saw, let's say you have a book on your dresser or something, and it's just there every single day. and you see it on the drug, you would just your brain would just keep on remembering that every time you've seen it. Let's say it's been on your dresser for the past 2 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like your brain would be just like, oh my god, I can't stop thinking about that. Oh my god, what the heck? You
Damn.
know?
Yeah. I know
I
exactly
think that
what you
would be kind
mean.
of screwed up. Imagine that. Like you just see something that you haven't seen in 10 years. You're like, oh my god, you just remember? Yeah. That's crazy.
That'd be crazy if it like you what you just said, if it was like anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It could be like an
Something as
old
small as
phone or like
maybe
an old phone. Fucking
yeah.
shit. Like you'd be, and then if you were constantly thinking that, bro, you would go insane. Like that's how. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy, dude? Just like
That's probably why it doesn't exist.
how we're so how our brains can't even fathom and develop like more knowledge than what we know now, and just like the capacity of the capacity of our brains, and like how we can only handle so much at one time, because people get overwhelmed all the fucking time. And imagine, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you being on that drug 24/7, and you're just like constantly thinking more and more and more, and you just like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he can't shut the fuck up because he's always thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure 100% Elon Musk is like that too. It's just like he found a way to choose his words wisely and what he's trying to describe. And that's why fucking Joe Rogan was like in silence when he was in the podcast. Elon would talk about something for like minutes, and then Joe Rogan, it would pan to Joe Rogan just nodding his head in absolute silence. He's like, "Yeah, man, that's crazy." Like, it's insane to think like how we can feel so developed, but our own consciousness can't even fathom just I can't even describe what I'm trying to say right now. That's how
We
like
can't
under
even fathom what we can become.
yeah.
What you're trying to say?
Mhm.
Like we're so developed as a species, but we can't fathom what we're going to be like in 75 to 100
We
years.
can't multitask worth shit. That's basically what I'm saying. Like you can multitask,
Yeah.
but like
But not like
you can't
what you're
consciously
thinking.
multitask.
Yeah, you can't write a paper and cook a dinner at the same time. I
Yeah,
guess that's what you could say.
and follow the recipe
Maybe,
exact.
okay, how about this? Write a paper and text at the same time. You know
That's pretty good.
what I'm saying? Like consciously. It's like left hand writing a paper, right hand texting. You can't do that.
Mhm.
That'd just be, and it's so simple. You're just talking, you're just typing something, and you're writing something. But your brain can't do both of them at one time.
It's like the thing when you're like patting your head and rubbing your belly, or vice versa. Like some people can't even do that. You know?
Yeah, I remember when that was a thing. Or I mean, it still is a thing, I bet. But like, I remember people were trying to do that. I was like, oh my god, this is so hard. Not gonna lie, I just tried to do it, and it was so easy. Like, oh well, what the heck? I think that has more to do with like, oh, what is it? I guess you could say, I don't know if this, it wouldn't be muscle memory, but like just control, you know,
Mhm.
or maturity, you know. Like it's, once when you do it and you actually get it down, you'll never. It's like riding a bike. That
Mhm.
you're never gonna forget. I can hop on a bike. I haven't rode a bike in 3 years. I can hop on a bike and just ride perfectly.
You know how to maintain the balance. You know when to keep pedaling. You know when to stop pedaling and cruise. Like it's 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 all storage there, and until we really need it, that's when the information in your brain kicks in, and you remember all this stuff, and you begin to have this nostalgic memories and just all that stuff. And that's what's crazy about the brain. Like you want to know a lot of things at once, but we can't even fathom the imagination of that. But when the time comes and you need, and like you have the knowledge, but like it's only necessary when you need it, and when it's finally needed, you know what to do. Like what do you do if you're caught
You
on fire?
wanna?
You stop, drop, and roll. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like things like
You want
that.
to know something crazy
What's up?
to think about just right now?
Hmm.
We're thinking right now, as we speak, constantly and stuff like that. The human race have invented crazy things. We've gone to the moon and came back. We're about to go to Mars in the next couple, probably decade and a half, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we did all that with the brain. And the brain is just a piece of meat in our head.
Damn.
That's crazy.
But like there's cells inside of it that can activate and create a conscious mind.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a big computer. That's why AI is scary, bro, because we actually successfully create artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
We, the only thing we have to model it, or is humans. The
Yeah.
only thing we can model AI after is humans. So we're most likely going to create them and they would be able to adapt and learn. And it's going to be pretty hard to put emotion in there. So that's why everyone's saying they're going to take over the world, because they have lack of emotion.
And then we'd be like, and if that they took over, we'd be like, please, we have families. And they'd be like, so?
And they'd be like, I don't care. So they would be like, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Everything is so scary. Everything is so scary in some sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 10, 15 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. So, what was that, 2005? 2006?
Yeah.
If I showed someone in 2005, let's say 2005, the iPhone X that I'm holding in my hand right now, they would flip out. They would be like, what the fuck? I mean, I think they would be able to understand it. But they would be like, oh my god, you're from the future. They wouldn't think that they're only 2 years out from that. Because when was it, 2009? 2000, when was it? What year was it when the first iPhone came out?
2008, I believe.
2008? I mean, that's 2 years out. 3. Of a touchscreen phone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the human brain did all of that.
iPhone 1 came out 2007.
2007, that's 2 years out from 2005. I mean, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What would you accomplish past 10 years?
You know what I wish? I wish we just kept evolving with space travel. But unfortunately,
Yeah, I've been saying that.
Because, like I was saying earlier, I don't know, because, like, you couldn't understand what I was saying, because I was just tired. But earlier I was saying how one of mankind's greatest accomplishments was a flexing competition, and that was between the U.S. and Russia in the Cold War, you know? Like, they just kept, one-upping each other.
Racing to the moon.
Yeah.
Racing the space race. Okay.
Like the U.S. was like, yeah, bro, we got the hydrogen bomb. What's up? Bigger than the atomic bombs. And then Russia was like, guess what? We made that too. And then just out of nowhere, Russia was like, yo, that's an antenna. I mean, that's a satellite.
And it's supposed to be in space.
And they were like, all right, homie, we got you. And then they send another, and then the U.S. sends in a satellite. And then John F. Kennedy, that one fateful day, decides that we are going to put a man on the moon.
Why does Texas play rice? We do not choose to go to the moon because it is easy. We choose to go to the moon because it is hard.
Someone
revolutionary mind.
It was, yeah. It's crazy. I just wish.
So it took them, what, 6 years? From that, maybe 7 years, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
For them to get to the moon, from when he said that. And when they started. And
And
19 in the 60s. It took them 7 years to do it. I think I think the whole space thing is a little rigged, dude. I think there is some resistance somewhere. And whether if it's the government restricting something or something like that, because there's no way we should be able to build something in 7 years and go to the moon easy. Especially if we would have kept on going up there like every 10 years. Imagine what we would have up there. We would probably have a nice little colony on the moon right now.
We would probably have a facility that was built in the ground and rose in the surface.
Yeah. That's probably what we're gonna have to do on Mars. If we're gonna colonize Mars, we're probably gonna have to go underground.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, another thing on that Science Channel, I was talking about like a half hour ago. They were talking about the volcanoes and stuff like that.
On Mars?
And I'm sorry, what?
The volcanoes on Mars?
More on Mars than on Earth. On Earth, they have there are these lava tunnels underneath the ground that the volcanoes had that molten lava used to travel through. So like little sewage systems of lava.
Right.
And they're empty now. Most of them are empty now on Earth, so humans are able to walk through that. People are predicting that once when we get to Mars, the easiest way to build something is to go through one of those lava tunnels that are empty next to that huge volcano. Potentially like start off there and start building an underground base there.
Would we drill more holes, like make more space?
Yeah, we would have to dig. We would have to do a lot of excavating.
Damn.
Without a doubt. But I mean, I feel like we're meant to do that kind of stuff. I really do.
Yeah.
Especially since people believe our Mars used to be like Earth. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think I agree with you on mankind is just supposed to be here on Earth and, you know, develop and, you know, evolve into... It doesn't have to be like the perfect species that I know we're not perfect, like a perfect species. Because if we were, then we would be able to travel probably outside of our solar system and beyond.
If we were perfect, we wouldn't be on Earth anymore.
Yeah. But I think we were always meant to just, you know, and I don't mean it in like going to every single planet, taking it, all of its, you know, resources and then moving on, but I think we're just meant to be evolved and changed, except on multiple planets, you know. I think we're meant to, you know, explore our galaxy and beyond, no matter, even if our galaxies are, because our galaxy is just crazy humongous, dude. It's huge. Like,
we can't even fathom how big, some people can't even fathom how big the solar system is.
And it's just our solar system. And we have another solar system, Andromeda, headed our way.
Solar systems around.
And so for like the fact that like even another dimension or a parallel universe could exist, like it's not even out of the question that could exist. Like I fully believe 100% that that's possible. I fully believe that 100% like another you, another me is having this type of conversation with this podcast. It's probably a different named podcast. I probably called it something else. We're like talking about, you know, animals right now, but now we're on the Cosmic Podcast and we're talking about parallel universes and dimensions that are 100% possible. They're not facts, but like you can't not believe that it's not true. Like that's how humongous, you know, space in general is. Like there's just, and like you can think about so much stuff. Like you and I just found out what a fucking quasar was last week. Like that's probably one of the brightest things ever. Like that's ever been made. It's brighter than it's just as bright as a distant galaxy, and the quasar that's like showing brightness isn't even there anymore. Like it exploded, and we're just seeing its ghost past. You know, like, we're just seeing its bones and its its guts, just spread it all across. And it's crazy to think like those lights that were, blown up into what it is now, those live longer than the quasar itself. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
That's what's so cool about the universe, bro. It's
Anything's
just so
possible.
big, and yeah, it's so big, and we know so little about it that literally anything that you can think of that's a possibility in your head,
Could be
you
possible.
gotta, it could be possible. Like there could be a whole species that can fly on Earth, and a whole species that can just morph and turn into things, or maybe teleportation, time travel, all these things that we say are science fiction and stuff. It could be 100% possible,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 100% feasible. It's amazing. I love it. That's why I'm so intrigued by it. And what sucks is in our lifetime we're not gonna know. We're not gonna figure that out in our lifetime.
No. It sucks ass, but we have we have uh we have such knowledge that we can, kind of comprehend that all of that is possible. And it doesn't matter if it's like our reality. We realize, you and I both realized how
That it's possible.
insignificantly small and how insignificantly large everything outside of our world and beyond is. And just like the possibilities and like creations in any region, in any part of the never ending road of like just the space, it never ends, and you realize that anything is possible. Dude, it never ends. Like, that's
I
crazy.
know, I know, bro. I just started thinking about it. It's like, what the heck is the universe?
The
Like, what
universe
is it?
the universe is just a small fragment, a part of something probably in like something
Bigger.
that's bigger that we can't even comprehend.
Like,
Like,
dude, imagine if we could survive in space. Like, we didn't have to rely on oxygen to breathe and live. Imagine if we can just go up there, just float around. Are you kidding me? We float around? Some people can't even, like, fathom that we can just go up there and float.
yeah.
Because they don't think about space that much. When you can just go up there and float around, basically fly. All you gotta do is push yourself in one direction. You'll never stop going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something stops you.
Yeah,
It's
man.
terrifying, but amazing.
It's terrifying
Our
because we
compass does not work.
not at all.
There's no north, south, east, west, or anything.
It's just never ending.
That's amazing. It's just awesome to think about. It really is.
I completely agree. Life's crazy.
Dude, not even life, dude. Not even.
Just the existence of everything and how like crazy science really is.
And how important it is.
I'm gonna begin to close off the podcast. We're literally about to reach 2 hours. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
This was
Jesus.
fun, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, hella fun.
You know-
Hold
you know
on. Let
what's
me
funny?
find some outro music and you can keep talking.
Okay.
Alright. What should I fucking play? Alright, don't even trip, bro.
Fucking no.
I got it.
Bro.
Keep talking.
Alright, you know what's even crazier?
Hmm.
We would have had this conversation even if it wasn't a podcast. Maybe not tonight, but we would have had it tomorrow, the other day, another day,
Yeah,
another
bro.
day. It's just the talk, bro. This proves that, hey man, we're not doing it for clout, bro. We're just talking, bro. Trying to expand each other's minds.
We're trying to
know what I'm
blow
saying?
each other's minds. Because
Yeah,
we're
dude.
we're learning as well as the rest of the world, the rest of mankind. We're
Yeah, and what
always
sucks-
on top with astronomical news, and we always like keep us in check with everything that's happening. Like I remember I showed you the picture of the first black hole. You remember released
Yeah,
earlier
bro.
this
That
year?
picture came out. You
Yeah,
kidding me?
absolutely
You
insane.
gotta be humble. You gotta be humble. That has to humble you. A black hole? Dude, let's not even get into black hole. We're just gonna start talking for another 20 minutes, bro. Oh my god. That's just crazy to think about. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. And what sucks is that a majority of the human race, they're not even worrying about the universe and stuff like that. They're
Mhm.
too focused on what's going on for them.
If we just realized how insignificant a lot of our problems are, and we just devote our lives to just the pursuit of space and knowledge and just space exploration, bro, a lot of things would be possible right now. But we're just so stubborn as just a race, and I feel like we're just so behind on evolution and just development between with mankind. Like that's why we ask ourselves these questions, you know, if we're really alone, or like if we really aren't, then, you know, why aren't they coming to us, and like do they even want to be around us? Just
Yeah, they probably don't even know either.
And we probably never will. Probably not for a long
Mm-mm.
time.
The odds are not in anybody's
Not
favor.
not in our lifetime at least. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys, whoever the fuck watched this, enjoyed it as much as Dylan and I. I don't care. I guarantee that we'll probably be making another one soon. So we'll be sure to have a lot to talk about then. Dylan, you have anything else to say?
Nah, bro, I'm good.
You good? All right. Let's. I did too. How do I end this shit?